On Friday this week, the head of Sudan's ruling Sovereign Council, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, signed a decree sacking his deputy and the leader of the Rapid Support Forces, Hamdan Dagalo, known as Hemeti, from the Transitional Council with immediate effect. This comes as fighting continues despite the signing of a declaration of commitment to protect the civilians in Sudan on the 11th of May 2023. The dismissal, according to some political analysts, was expected.
Without an immediate cessation of hostilities, I think that Burhan should have immediately sacked Hamdan to be able to create the imbalance of power in terms of the position. So you can't be saying basically you have president and vice president, and then your forces are on the streets fighting.
Uganda's former ambassador to Sudan, James Chinobe, says the developments since the start of the conflict in April are unfortunate and undermine efforts to bring lasting peace in the country.
If it is not diffused quickly, first of all, it is going to spell a disaster for the Sudan as a country. And once Sudan security collapses and the country doesn't hold at all, now it's going to spell a bigger disaster for the entire region.
But why has the ceasefire failed to hold?
Because some people think that ceasefires are intended for people to achieve what they fail to get in the battlefield. So many groups don't believe in them. To the contrary, they use the ceasefires to strengthen their position.
Ambassador Chinobe, who ended 4 years of his tour of duty in Sudan last year, believes the conflict was sparked off by the defense review, where the two generals disagreed over the time it would take to integrate the Rapid Support Forces members into the National Army.
While General Burhan, who is the head of the traditional military, was proposing 2 years, General Dagalo wanted 10 years. Challenges. And as we speak today, the issue of the defense review and the mechanism to review and integrate the different forces together is a very big problem. Because as we speak now, it's not only the RSF, but almost every minister in that government has an army.
The analysts argue that the continued conflict in this region, which is an epicenter of conflict, is likely to increase instability.
You are basically creating additional instability. This region is full of arms, so there is high intensity in terms of proliferation of small arms whenever there is conflict. So basically you are creating conditions for conflict within the entire region.
But what is at stake for Uganda?
Sudan was a growing market for Ugandan products, especially coffee. When you look at the data, the Comtrade data, you realize that Sudan was one of the major importers of Ugandan coffee. So basically you have the entire market now distorted, which is a disadvantage to Uganda.
They argue that knowing that Sudan has turned into a theater of geopolitical competition, making a resolution of the conflict is a challenge. However, they believe the crisis is solvable, but will require more commitment from the African Union.
I think we need now a superior authority, maybe the African Union, maybe the IGAD, but not just in talks, but with an enforcement force.
You need to have the African Union playing a more present and assertive role to be able to diminish this geopolitical competition.
Benjamin Jumbe, NTV Weekend Edition.